Centox, led by global experts, offered the Centa teacher community insights into the classroom practices and professional growth. Register for these sessions and actively participate by sharing your thoughts, joining polls, asking questions, and giving feedback to help us improve them. Good evening on behalf of Centa. We are delighted you will join us today for Centa's webinar series of teachers. Today we have a session on new age teaching. We are excited to announce that today's facilitator is Khushboo Sareen ma'am. Welcome Khushboo Sareen ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So Mrs. Khushboo Sareen, with over 8 years of experience in progressive education, Mrs. Khushboo Sareen is dedicated to integrating subject expertise with innovative pedagogy to nurture 21st century learners. Currently serving as a TGT Mathematics teacher at Lotus Valley International School in Gurugram, she has previously held academic and leadership roles in esteemed institutions. She is a certified Microsoft Innovator Educator and Adobe Creative Educator Level 1 and Level 2, and has received accolades such as Shilpkaar Award from Aviskar for inspiring student innovations. She has facilitated webinars and workshops on inclusive classrooms and future-ready skills, and played a key role in her school's registration as a UN partner for the Sustainable Development Goals. Passionate about integrating technology and creative into lessons, Mrs. Sareen has successfully implemented hybrid learning models and prepared students for national level competitions. With extensive training experience and a commitment to empowering both educators and learners, she strives to be an inspiring voice in the field of education. Welcome again to the STEAM Facilitator.
Thank you. So, shall we begin with the session? Very good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for joining me today. I am Khushboo Sareen, and I'm excited to take you through the session over New Age teaching. This is nothing but, it's just a kind of recapitulation of the practices we are doing in our classrooms and what can be added to it, right? So that's why I just said that it's rethinking classrooms for new future ready learners. We have to make our learners future ready, as the future does not mean 10 years from now. It does not mean a decade, it does not mean a century. It means maybe tomorrow, right? So, from the topic new age teaching, I want to know what views do you keep for it. So, please click on the Mentimeter link, which is shared with you, and I would be waiting for your responses over here. Let's see, let's check, what do you feel that new age teaching is? So, in this modern era of technology, according to you, what is new age teaching? And, who are new age learners? What do you expect that this webinar is going to be about? So, just waiting for the responses. Okay. Okay, I can see that adapting new methods of teaching is called new age teaching. Technology, okay, just the technology. AI, that's right. AI can be included in new age teaching, as we are entering. We have already entered the era of AI. Yes, teaching with latest technologies. Okay, all right, traveling along students, experiential learning, Okay. Keeping pace with changing times, teaching with technology and beyond books, new age learning, right? New age learning is new age teaching. That's very true. Play with the methods. Very nice. Okay. Change the technology and techniques. Yes, all of these are part of new age teaching, but we need to understand that what is the meaning of new age teaching while we are dealing with new age learners, isn't it? So let's talk about what is new age teaching. New age teaching is nothing but learner centered approach, which was previously known as child centric education. We are quite familiar with the word child centric education, child centric approach. Then it focuses on developing real world skills like critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, isn't it? So that means new age teaching is focusing on the 21st century skills to make our learners ready for the future, right? It also means the integration of technology, which most of you feel, and also promotes personalized and inclusive learning. If I talk about being learning being personalized or being inclusive, I mean to say that it just do not mean that inclusivity is just not bound to teaching the children or the learners from various communities. It also means that the teaching the learners with different learning needs, right? And how do we personalize the learning for them? Then it also means encouraging the active learner participation. Till the time our learners will be passive, till the time they are not responding, till the time they are not interacting with you, how will you get to know that your learner, your student, your children are getting something? Isn't it? This is really very important. That's why new age teaching is nothing but the child centric education, which is developed taking 21st century skills in mind. Now, when we move ahead, what are we going to explore in this webinar today? So, today for today's topic, I have kept that why do you need what is the why do you need the new age teaching? Why does it matter more than ever, right? Then what are the key shifts in the pedagogy and classroom roles? Then what are the powerful tools and technologies for engagement of the learners while you are into this era of new age teaching? And then I will share some real classroom examples and a few takeaways for you from my experiences and my practices. So let's explore. Now, if I talk about that, I said that the world is changing. We are already in the future AI era. So, do you think, have you pondered upon the thought that the world is indeed changing, but are we changing with the world? Yes, of course. So we have to think about it. So my question to you as a poll is that, in your opinion, what is the biggest reason to shift towards new age teaching? So whether, according to you, it's the changing needs of the learners or demand of the 21st century skills. What do you feel that is the need for new age teaching? I'm just waiting for the responses. So 67%, almost 67% of you have said that demand of 21st century skills. Yes, that's correct. Even if I talk about, the changing student needs, that is also very important. The learners, the needs of the learners are changing each day. right? We have to provide them with the new interesting content every day while we are teaching the same curriculum. We have to find out the different ways and means wherein we can engage them, and we can attract them towards the curriculum to make learning happen, because they are the digital natives for today, right? They know technology more than us. They are pro, right? So just to walk by the side of our learners, we also have to be that smart that we can deal with the technology in the same manner as our learners are dealing with it, right? Now if I talk about the future, so the jobs for tomorrow, they require creativity, collaboration, problem solving. They are not going to be the same jobs, 9 to 5 jobs which right now are existing. The jobs after 10 years might change. They might not require this kind of setup, right? So for that we have to make them ready. So we have to impart our teaching in a way that we are making them ready for that, right? So now for that we have to include the competency based education for our learners. This is very important that we include the competency based education, keeping the competency of each learner in mind, that what my child is competent of doing. So we have to mold our teaching methods, way of teaching in such a manner that we are able to match the competency of our learners, right? And then we have to also adapt for the relevance and the impact for outside world, right? We always, today the learners, they keep on looking for the relevance of the topic. When you teach, the very frequent question which is being asked, especially from a mathematics teacher, is why are we doing this, ma'am? Where do we need it, right? So we have to satisfy that quench, we have to satisfy that curiosity. We should be able to answer that question, that what is the need of learning that particular topic. This is what new age teaching it is, and this is why do we need it, because with the changing questions we need to change our methods, our ways of teaching. That is what I'm coming upon now. That means we have to shift the paradigms in education, right? We have to move from the traditional to the transformational world. Earlier we were teaching in a traditional way, wherein the classrooms were led by teachers, and there was rote learning. Learners were just learning the methods and the concepts, and were just you know putting it up on the paper as an exam. Now if I talk about times of today, we are in the new era, right? Where the learning, the teaching is led by learners. We plan our lessons every day as per the need of our learners, wherein we put food for thought, wherein they can critically think about certain topic. Then also if we find that a particular learner is struggling with a particular concept, then we design certain more ways or certain more questions based on that topic to make our learners understand better and to help the learner in a better way, isn't it? And now we are not just having that old age exam pattern. Along with it we also have continuous and competency based assessments, wherein while a normal classroom is going on, we assess our learners on various parameters, right? That's where the holistic progress report card comes into play, right? We talk about holistic progress report card. That means we are looking at all the parameters wherein we expect a learner of a particular age to grow, right? Now if I talk about that, what defines new age teaching, so I'll talk about that. The new age teaching is basically based on the pillars, where there are few pillars on which the new age teaching is based upon. These pillars are inquiry and exploration, creativity and innovation, technology integration, collaboration and communication, inclusivity, and social and emotional learning. It's just not about technology. It's just not only about technology. It's about creativity also. It's about how your learners are inquiring also. It's about how you make your learners collaborate for teaching also. It's about how you are including the learners of different needs, and how you are making the social and emotional learning, which is really important in today's time, happen in the class. How will you sensitize your children for, you know, the needs, the emotional needs of their peers, so that once they are sent into the community, once they are sent into the society, how do they react, right? This brings a new question for you, which is, what is the biggest change you have experienced in your teaching style over the last 5 years? What do you think? That there are, times have changed, you might have changed your teaching styles also. So what do you feel that you have experienced, what kind of change you have experienced in your teaching styles over the last 5 years? Is it using more technology, or giving students more voice, lecturing less, more discussions, or more project based work? What do you think it is? Where are we shifting to? On which side are we shifting to? So I'm just waiting for the poll response. So I'll repeat the question. It says, what is the biggest change you have experienced in your teaching style over the last 5 years? So, are you using more technology, or you're giving more voice to your children, or you're lecturing less and discussing more in the class, or are you just focusing on the projects? What defines you as a teacher today? I'm not talking about 5 years ago, I'm talking about today. Okay. All right. Some might think that it's just the technology integration. All right. Okay, so yes, most of the people who are there with me today think that it's just the use of technology more. Yes, of course, technology is more as compared to the time, if I talk about 5 years ago, because everything is on a click, right? It's in our hand. Technology is in our hand. 5 years ago it was not that accessible, right? Now if I talk about the modernized classrooms, we always have touch panels in class, or other kinds of smart boards in classroom. And also, since we had made a shift of offline learning to online learning, and then back to offline learning, so that has, integrated technology very deeply into our teaching as well as learning process, isn't it? Because these days the learners are so much used to screens that to make them learn, to make them engaged, the use of technology has increased. This is undeniable. So, it's just not about technology. There are certain powerful ways in which you can engage your learners. There can be various innovative pedagogies which you can adopt to engage your learners. You may sometimes give projects to them. Sometimes you can provide a situation wherein they are designing something, thinking something, innovating something. Or also you may involve games, not only the online games, but also you may also look for certain offline games wherein which can be played in the classrooms, and you can always take your learners outside in the school grounds, and integrate your own concept or your own subject with physical education, and always involve other teachers with you to make it a multidisciplinary activity, isn't it? It has to be a blend. It can't just be the technology, it can't just be the project, it can't just be the game, it can't just be the discussion. It has to be integrated. We have to give the spaces to our children to innovate, to conduct, right? So now, uh, I want to ask another question to you over here. According to you, which of these do you think focus more or most in the classroom? Creativity, innovation, technology integration, collaboration and communication, or inclusivity and social emotional learning? Okay, so most of you are saying creativity and innovation, and yes, it is. It is very important. And if you are focusing on it more, I must say that you are on the right track, and you are actually doing new age teaching. So this brings me to a Kahoot. Let us also integrate some games for ourselves and play a Kahoot now. So a link will be put in the chat box now, which can be joined, which can be clicked and joined. And meanwhile, if you want to just go on kahoot.com and want to play it, so you can type play.kahoot.it, and you can copy that game pen which is displaying on the screen, and I'll be waiting for you here to start. I'm waiting for the participants to enter so that we can start playing. So you can just join this by typing kahoot.play.kahoot.it, and you may enter the game pin which is being displayed, and then we can start playing this Kahoot. I'm waiting for the participants to enter. Okay, so by now, I think most of you have played this Kahoot. I'm still waiting for a few to play it so that then we can read for the responses. So the first question is, which of the following is an example of project-based learning? So the next one is, gamification in classroom mainly helps in assigning homework faster, replacing textbooks, increasing student motivation, reducing screen time. What do you think gamification in classroom will help? The third question is, what is the core idea behind flipped classroom? What do you feel is the core idea behind flipped classroom? And the flipped classroom is the classroom wherein we assign some content to our learners to read from home, and then we let them take over the classroom and perform some activity in the class next day or day after, right? So the last question is, design thinking starts with, what does design thinking start with? Creating a prototype, memorizing facts, empathizing with the user, and or the grading solutions. So yes, it starts with empathizing the users, where the, like, what is the need of the design, what is the need to create, isn't it? So this is what design thinking is. So they say that which pedagogy encourages students to explore real world changes and find creative solutions. Rote learning, lecture method, design thinking, or dictation practices. Which pedagogy encourages students to explore real world challenges? Design thinking. Okay. All right. So, yes, these were some of the answers given by you. And yes, of course, most of you were able to answer it correctly. So, now let's move to. So, now let's move to. Um, Tech or technology as an enabler and not a distraction. Most of the times you may find parents complaining that the screen time for our child is a lot, and then the teacher is also assigning the work on the screen. We don't want our children to just keep looking into the screens all the time. So we have to make the technology an enabler. We do not have to make it as a distraction. We do not have to have technology as a distraction for our learners. So what can be done to make it an enabler? The technology can be made enabler, or it can be made as a boon for our learners as well as for the teaching learning process, while you use Canva or Padlet to boost the collaboration and creativity, like we did right now, right? We collaborated. You played the quiz, right? Online, and it was engaging, right? So we were using technology in the correct sense. So this is how the gaming platforms can make the assessments interactive and engaging for our learners. Moving on to integrating AI tools like Khanmingo, which is by Khan Academy, which is an interactive AI tool which acts as a tutor, which is built into Khan Academy and guide our learners wherever they are stuck. So whenever we are assigning some assignment from Khan Academy, they can always, wherever they are stuck, they can always take help from Khan Mingo, and it will be kind of an AI tutor which will help our learners to understand the particular concept where they are stuck with, right? We can also promote digital storytelling through Adobe Spark, Flipgrid, or various video editing app. We can, make our learners creative and bring in innovations in their writing skills using certain apps, isn't it? Now, also manage when they manage the assignments and assessments through Microsoft Teams or Google Classrooms or Forms, it also becomes easier for us, as well as it becomes easier for our learners to keep a track for a particular assignment submission or assessment, which makes it possible for most of the learners to attempt it, right? Now, we can also encourage our learners to research, create, and present digitally building the real world technology fluency. Because when we are talking about that, we have to make them ready for the future jobs, so they have to be very comfortable while using the technology while they are in a professional setup. So we have to train them for that. So it's our responsibility to train our learners for that setup. Now, if I talk about my own classroom, what practices I adopt. So these are some real world examples. These are the uh, activities which I have conducted in my classrooms. I could put very few of the activities here. I could not put all of them here. But yes, as a mathematics teacher, I love my learners to do the role reversal and explain the particular concept, because when peer learning happens, that's the best way they learn, right? They learn in a better way when they're one of them is teaching, when there is somebody among them who is presenting. It's always that, yes, of course, if your learner is going wrong somewhere, you can always correct them, right? But yes, this experience is very important for them. This platform is very important to them, so that they build that confidence to present something. Now you can also see that one of the other ways to include new age teaching or innovative practices is playing musical chairs with mathematics. It's the involvement of screen is very less in it, isn't it? They are so engaged in playing musical chairs that they just read out the question and then they are just focusing on the music. And the focus is that when the music will stop and when do I have to sit, and I should not get out of the game. So a few more practices were, you may see that an image on my left side playing four corners, right? So I usually engage my learners in this game because I feel that sometimes you should go without screen in the class. It's not that always when you enter the classroom you have to switch on the technology. No, talk to your learners, let them enjoy, let them know that there's a world outside screen. So, a question can be written on the board along with the corners assigned on the board, and you can always give an instruction that this corner is assigned as corner 1 in the classroom, this has been assigned as corner 2, corner 3, and corner 4, and then you can write 4 options on different corners of the boards. Then learners may read the question which is being written by you, and then they may pick the corner of their choice as per the options you have given. And of course they will tend to move towards the maximum strength, right? So then randomly you can just pick any child and you may ask for the reason of picking that particular corner. This is a very helpful technique to recapitulate a concept which you have already covered in the classroom. This has always helped me to identify who all are stuck somewhere, stuck in the concept, are apprehensive about the concept. This is a very good activity, and my learners are now, by now they are so trained that they look forward for it. I always keep at least one day for this activity in my week. So on the next side, you can see that they were playing another game, another kind of musical chair, wherein these children were the band. They were playing the music, and rest of their peers were playing the musical chair. And as per their wish, they used to stop singing and stop playing, and accordingly they had to sit. It was it was kind of a live band with which they played musical chairs. Now if I talk about the evolving role of a teacher, we don't have to be a sage, we have to be the guide. We always have to be the guide, we have to be the facilitator, we have to design their learning, and we have to promote learners voice and their choice. Since we are also learning with them, we are also growing with them. That's why we are called the lifelong learners. Our learning will never end. We are the co-explorers of the learning journey with our learners every year, no matter how many years you have been teaching, or how many years you have been into the same classroom. But yes, every year with a new set of children, with a new set of individuals, you are learning new things, isn't it? So start from where you are. So you need not to worry about how to start and from where to start. You just have to begin from where do you have to begin, isn't it? So before we discuss this slide, I would like you to answer a question which says that how do you see your role evolving as a teacher today? Are you a friend or a facilitator or a guide? Are you a mentor or motivator? You're still mostly traditional in your classrooms, or you're trying to figure it out. Okay, yes. So, can be a friend and mentor at the same time. You have to be the motivator, you have to be the motivating force for our learners, isn't it? So yes, so with that motivating force, you have to begin with from where you are, and you have to begin with one tool at a time. You don't have to apply all the methods, all the techniques at once. You just have to apply one, and then you can, as I said, that you can collaborate with the other subject teachers, physical education teachers. So you also have to collaborate with peers. Only then your learners will learn how to collaborate. Yes. And of course you have to celebrate the small wins. You can always provide some credits to your children, or some smileys or some candies for whenever they are growing better. You have to build your learning professional learning network. You have to grow, you have to explore. You should be on the platforms where the professional learning is happening. You have to grow your network so that you should get to know what is going on in this world, who all are adopting new technologies, what new techniques are there which can be adapted and can be implied in the classrooms. You also have to think about your children, right? You have to provide them with the materials, with the resources. Okay, there are few tried, tested, and my trusted tools which have worked for me. So, as I said, that Padlet is a very strong tool and very important tool for the reflection and brainstorming. Here you can see one of the videos which is being created by me as a screen recording, wherein I have used GeoGebra for creating geometrical representation in incorporating mathematics into real life. And I have given one of the examples, or you may say a demo, to my children, that how mathematics become important to real life, right? And of course we can create student portfolios, posters, project visuals, and also we can encourage our children to do that. A few more methods are quizzes, Kahoot to make your assessments engaging. MathPad is a very important tool. There are very few tools for mathematics, and mathematics teachers always have this, need. They keep on finding, they keep on looking for the platforms wherein the technology can be included in their subject. So this is one of the videos which was created by me for constructions to guide my learners how to construct. So the name of the platform is MathPad, and the geometrical construction tools are available on it. And apart from that, Toy Theater is another platform wherein the manipulatives can be used for mathematics to make our learners understand fractions very well, perimeter and area very well, difference between perimeter and area, and more concepts of mathematics. Now it's time for you to reflect. So you may there will be a link which will be shared with you on in the chat box. So you have to click on that link. It will direct you to Padlet, and you have to write three things you learned today from this webinar. You have to give me two strategies which you will try, and you have to tell me one action step you will take this week. Three things you learned, two strategies which you will try, and one action which you will take this week. I'm waiting for your responses. You have to tell me three things which you have learned today from this webinar. Then also you have to tell me two strategies you will try and one action which you will take this week, which you have learned today. I'm just waiting for the responses. Please write three things which you have learned. Okay, creative thinking. All right. Okay, creative thinking is one. I'm still waiting for the responses. I can see many of you are writing. All right, learned how games and collaboration with children can help learning in ways which help children to grow. All right, appreciation, try innovative approach. Okay, teaching and learning through technology, become a motivator and a mentor. Technologies should be used in class. Okay, gamification, design learning. For creative learning, that's very nice. Creative teaching, innovative teaching methods using technology, follow up the things. Yes, that's very important. You need to take follow ups. If you're not taking follow ups, that means we are lacking somewhere. Project based learnings, how to engage learners, how to make the classroom interactive. This is very important. How to tackle with the new difficulty, right? That's wonderful. Planning and time management, yes, this is really important. Peer learning, very important. Developing critical thinking in our learners is also very important, right? That's wonderful. I'm so happy that I can add on to I just can make you recapitulate what you're already doing. Okay, learner centric approaches. Yes, we have to be learner centric. Our classrooms have to be learner centric. To be a mentor, adopt more technologies, gamify your classrooms. Gamification does not only mean that you have to play games based on internet or based on the screens. You may take them to the school grounds. Yes, three things learned: new age teaching, is also new age learning, very nice. New age teaching focused more on technology. C's, oh yes, four C's of 21st century skills are very important. Strategies are action, try not to use technology for a change. Yes, you may innovate, always innovate your classrooms, very nice, very nice. Planning and time management, corner board puzzle, nice, that's a nice idea. Okay, learner based education, Kahoot, gamification, integrate technology. Action plan would be integrate technology. Okay, wonderful. Planning and time management, flipped classrooms. I was introduced to a new term, flipped classroom. Okay, that's wonderful. I'm happy that I was able to make you understand that there's a term called that there's a practice called flipped classroom. uh yes, role reversals. So there's a difference between role reversal and a flipped classroom, right? So role reversal is basically learners being the teachers, But the flipped classroom means that you always assign the work at home, they learn certain concept at home, and then they reflect upon it into the classroom. How to tackle situations, how to be a good mentor, okay, brainstorming, right, project based learning, peer learning, everything is very important. And I'm so happy that you people are participating and interacting a lot. And with this, we have come to the end of this session. And I thank each one of you for being such an important part for my journey today. And I hope you are, you have loved the ideas which I have shared with you. And always remember that new age teaching is not about being perfect, it's about being purposeful. You just have to find a purpose for your children, you have to find a purpose for your classroom. Now, I would love to hear your questions, your thoughts, and your ideas. Let's open the floor. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Khushbu. So let me check if there are any questions from the audience. Yes, we have some questions. So the first one is, how can I ensure that technology in my classroom acts as a genuine enabler for learning rather than a source of distraction?
So, as I said that, I gave an example that, when the learners were playing musical chairs, while I was
Mhm.
using technology, but they were more engaged in playing the game. They were more focused on playing the game, right? And also, if I talk about assigning work at home, so then also it has to be an enabler, right? So the focus has to be in towards integrating the technology in a manner that your learner is so much engaged in that task that that time your child is not thinking about anything else or exploring anything else from internet or any other
Mhm.
technology platform.
Sure. Thank you. So we have other questions as well. Great that I'm able to see a lot of engagement and a lot of questions there. So another question that I got from the teachers is, how can educators bridge the digital divide in classroom without compromising learning outcomes?
So as I say that, it has to go hand in hand. Your teaching cannot stop. You have to, this time is the time when your learners should not realize that yes, our teacher is teaching us. The teaching, the concept clarity has to be there while you are interacting, while you are engaging your learners in certain activities. If I take an example of one of the games, which was not mentioned actually in the PPT, but yes,
Mhm.
if I there's a very basic example of relay race, right? So
Correct.
how it can make your teaching also go hand in hand is, as a mathematics teacher, what I did was that I took the concept of multiples, or maybe in the junior classes, it can be taken as the concept of tables, multiplication tables, and the cards
Mhm.
can be created for it and can be spread on a particular way, region. And then
Yeah.
your class strength can be divided into two teams, and you may ask them to play the relay while they have to pick a card for that has a multiple of a particular number. Then the maximum correct cards collected, that team wins. So that in this sense, your learning is also happening, right? You are covering your concept of multiples, right? You are teaching
Mhm.
them how they have to identify the multiples. Also, they are engaged into the game. So this is how it has to go hand in hand. You have to find out, you have to innovate, you have to work according to the need of your learners. You have to mold yourself on the basis of how your classroom is. Nobody else can guide you. Of course, you can take techniques, you can bring in ideas from others, but that those have to be incorporated, those have to be molded as per the learning needs of your children.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we're having other questions as well. Like, that is really great to say. We are getting a lot of questions from the teachers. So another question is there. what kind of professional development would best support you in adopting new age teaching practice? And how can our school leadership make that support more accessible and continuous?
See, you don't do not have to. First of all, you do not have to rely on anybody for make it accessible for you. Everything is available for free on internet. Explore.
Okay.
My mantra is explore. I did not, when I did my Adobe certification, I was not aware about that. Nobody told me. I just explored. I just explored internet. I keep on writing new courses for teachers, educators. So I am on the, you have to be on the platforms. So that's up to you. How do you explore? You are the learner, you are the explorer. You have to explore. Things are for free. You need not to pay money for anything. You need not to rely on anybody. You just have to take out time for yourself.
Okay, good. So there is a question I could see from P. Kaur ma'am, like how to assign flipped learning to slow or high need learners.
So here inclusivity comes into play, or personalized learning comes into play, right? It's not that the same task has to be assigned. It's you know your learners well, right? You know the categories well. Although there are no visible boundaries in the classroom which define your learners, but on the same time you know your learners, that which my this child is falling into this category. So instead of creating one task, why not you create two tasks? One easier, one difficult. One for the gifted one for the struggling one.
Yes. So there is one other question as well then that one of the teacher has asked. How can educators prepare students for jobs that don't yet exist?
See, we are not preparing them for for the task, right? We are preparing them for the future. We have to make their minds work in a way that they are ready for everything. They are adapting everything. So they have we are not here to even if I talk about solving equations or solving problems in mathematics, that doesn't mean that every concept of mathematics they are going to apply in real life, right? And everybody is not going to apply everything of mathematics in real life. But yes, for sure, they are becoming the good problem solvers. They are becoming good collaborators. They are becoming
Mhm.
good communicators, which will help them for the future jobs.
Thank you. So there are a couple of more questions as well. I think this very interactive sessions. That is the reason teachers are asking a lot of queries related to these topics. Right. So another question is how is this new age teaching different from the learner centered teaching?
So, learner centered teaching means that the learning is involving around the learner, right? New
Correct.
age teaching contains this learner centered learning as one of its pedagogies, right? It's, yes, of course our teaching has to revolve around the learners, but apart from that, there's a certain thing wherein you are designing your content. So you are just not focusing on teaching the concept. Teaching is always happening in the classroom, right? So when I talk about the background of teaching, which is planning, this is happening before the classroom. That is the pre-classroom or the pre-lesson task, right? So that's your planning also, that's your designing also. Now planning will not only help. Plan is okay, I'll just sit for 5 minutes, I'll think, okay, let's say I have to do this concept, I'll do this activity. This is not planning, right? I
Correct.
have to design my classroom, I have to design my lesson. That is planning. So this is how this is different from learner centered approach. That is one of the parts of.
Maybe thanks, ma'am, for answering this question. Maybe this is the last question. Like since we are getting a lot of the question, one last question I want to ask. Like, what else should we measure apart from academic performances as an important matrix?
According to me, the measurable factors should be that how well they get along with their peers, which is very important, because ultimately they have to go into the society. and they have to get along the society, right? This is one of the important things. We have to also check how confident our learner is in expressing the thought, right? So apart from academics, communication, confidence, emotional, reacting upon needs of others, emotional needs of others, and how well they get along with others is very important.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Okay, let me check if there are other questions as well that someone wants to ask. Okay, one very interesting question I got to know. How can we redesign classroom culture to promote curiosity over compliance?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. So I was in school today morning, and we all of us are well aware about the terrorist attack which happened in Kashmir uh, 2 days back, and I initiated the discussion on that just by saying that let's keep a 2 minutes silence for the families who are going through the difficult times. So then, once that initiated a spark, you need not to say anything, you need not to work upon anything. Your learners will do the task. I just gave them 2 minutes. That 2 minutes of silence gave them time to think, right? And when I said that, okay, let's chant Om together and finish the silence, the moment we stopped chanting Om, I was bombarded with the questions. And the questions were not only based upon whys and when. The questions, and I more of those were not questions, I would say. They were more of the ideas that how these things can be stopped. So they'll automatically start thinking, they'll start innovating. It's just that you just have to give that spark, you just have to ignite that spark. That's it. They'll do the rest of the job.
Great to hear that. So I'm still seeing a lot of questions. I'm trying to figure out which can be asked. Like, so just we will take another one, two questions.
Sure.
So one question that I got is, how can you engage games using Kahoot, especially in rural areas where internet connectivity is a challenge? Like any suggestions how it can be done?
So, yes, of course, I can understand that being in a rural area can be a challenge, and internet connectivity is a challenge. So, what can be done is that you can, bring in your internet or data connectivity well, and it's not that assigning the links to children, right? It can be played live in the classroom also, wherein you are just using one device, and collaboratively as a classroom you are playing it in the class. So that will not distribute the bandwidth, right? And if of course you are not able to have that accessibility in your school or in your classroom, then you can design a game around it wherein you are not playing it online, but of course you can pick some questions, and you can be innovative, and you can be a designer, and you can design certain things wherein in even in PPT. I have done that by myself in a PowerPoint presentation by attaching link to another slide or something. It's just that you have to learn it. It can be done offline also.
Thanks, ma'am, for answering this question as well. So still, if anyone feel like any else question they are having, any curiosity they are having, please feel free to ask me. We could take one more question as well. Let me check if any questions are pending from the audience. Okay, thank you, Khushboo ma'am, for a very engaging and informative session for our community of teachers. I'm sure that our teachers have taken a lot of takeaways from the session. And if you have registered and filled out the feedback form for this session, check your participation record in the app in My Learning section. I'll guide you through the instructions as well, how to get this. So, step one, what you have to do, you have to open the Center app on your device. Step two, you have to navigate to the ongoing webinar section. And step three, what you have to do, you have to click on submit feedback. Please note that this option will be available at 6 p.m. only. So now it is enabled. Next step, step four is at the end of the session, we will share a 4-digit code required for the feedback. Enter this code to access the feedback form. Now the 4-digit code is 3726. So you will get the feedback, you'll get the 4-digit code now only, right? Step 5 will be complete the feedback form and you'll be able to download your record of participation instantly. Again, I'm repeating the 4-digit code that is required, that is 1099. Right. Again, I'm repeating step 4, that is at the end of the session. We are going to share a 4-digit code required for the feedback, and this code is 1099 that is required to access the feedback form. In the last step, step 5, complete the feedback form and you'll be able to download your record of participation instantly as well. This new process was introduced to streamline your experience and ensure your participation in instantly organized. Another important thing, the feedback form will be available only through the Center app and will not be shared in the session. So kindly download the Center app today. Thank you so much to all the participants for engaging with us today. To register for more such upcoming webinars, please visit the Center app. Good night.